flashy intro. Titans Season 2 recap. Okay, enough of that garbage. So I decided to do a live chat. Thanks for stopping in if you're even watching or if you're not watching. Or if you're watching after the fact, thank you for like and subscribe and put all your, make a comment, tell me what you guys thought. But this is my top 10 thoughts on Titans Season 2. And whew, it was a doozy. I'm doing this a little bit later because I wanted to let it sink in for a couple days just because I only got to see it on Tuesday. And there's just been a lot to take in from this season. So let's dive right in. So kind of how this top 10 is going to work. And I don't know how I'm doing this. I mean, obviously my webcam sucks a bit, so I'll figure that out. Hopefully my audio is okay. If there are people watching, you can throw some comments and they're live. But we can talk about anything. But this is just going to be a quick top 10. How this is going to go is that I'm going to kind of start with my cons, like the pros and cons, but I'm going to start with the cons, and that'll be kind of like numbers 10 through 6, and then numbers 5 through 1 will just be my favorite moments of this season. So let's just dive right in before I keep talking and making myself look stupider. So, all right. So number 10, and spoilers, by the way. So with Donna Troy dying at the end, I really feel like it should have been Hank. Hank has been on this journey on this show. Him and Dawn have just kind of been doing this thing that I don't know. Donna dying was the way they did it was okay to me. I mean, it's not like she took a sword through the chest from Deathstroke or Beast Boy didn't rip her head off or whatever, like I was kind of waiting for that moment in this season, in the season finale. And honestly, I just feel like Hank and Dawn have just kind of run their course and they really need something to motivate them to go one way or another. And I mean, maybe Dawn should have died. I mean, I don't know. And then Hank would have been, I don't want to take a woman out of the Titans because I really like Dawn. I'm more partial to Dawn's character, actually. She's a little bit more soft-spoken, but she's more of a leader type. She's actually more of the Starfire from, like, the Teen Titans. Like, obviously not the ditziness because she's an alien, but, like, kind of that soft-spoken second in command. And with Donna, because when I say Dawn, I mean Dawn as in dove. And then obviously Donna dying. I mean, I know there's a chance she's going to come back, and I know Raven's working on that, and I know that yada yada, so on and so forth, blah blah. Just as these superhero shows do. But I mean, I really just kind of wanted. I didn't want to when everyone was talking about the spoilers beforehand. Oh, they released who it was and who was going to die, and I was hoping it was Hank, to be honest. Truth be told, I was done with kind of Hank at this point. He did have a decent episode, the episode, the preseason finale. But I mean, it didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't resonate with me. So sorry, I could beat this dead horse, but I'm hoping Donna will be back, but I just really hope that it'll be, I don't know. All right. So talking about, again, the season finale. So let's talk about the season finale structure. I really feel like the fights that happened in the show should have been switched. I really feel like the carnival fight should have been first, and then the Deathstroke fight should have been last. I see why they did it that way, but I just didn't agree with the way it all panned out. As I said, I mean, Donna dying there. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense if Donna died at the carnival and then they went and fought Deathstroke. But then what if maybe Deathstroke showed up at the funeral or something? I don't know. I mean, it felt very rushed for Deathstroke's arc for him to die in the beginning of the episode, or at least attack him in the beginning, get away, and then at the end, like after the carnival fight, then they have to fight Deathstroke one last time and finish him off. I don't know. I mean, I don't don't write these things, and I'm not talented enough probably to write these things. So I just think that it could have been done better. So number 8 is going to be Beast Boy. The only thing I didn't really like about it is that Beast Boy's been through the ringer these past 2 seasons. I mean, he killed the Doctor last season. Now he's like, and I mean, he was traumatized just by that. Now he's like freaking murdering people in the Cadmus experiments and everything. So it's like, cut Beast Boy a break next season, please. Just let him be kind of like not a standby character, but Jesus, let him have something besides killing people, and give him another transformation. I'm sick of him transforming only into a tiger. I mean, like start him, give him something different. Let him start branching out into different animals. I mean, it doesn't just have to be a tiger. I get it why in the first season it was just a tiger, but make him explore his powers in this season. That I kind of thought that Beast Boy was a little underutilized this season, although it wasn't terrible. Another formulaic thing. Beast Boy's arc. I think Beast Boy's arc could have been fleshed out a lot faster, and he could have become a Titan much faster. They teased Connor at the end of season 1, and I feel like that season 2 should have picked up right with that Cadmus scene and Superboy kind of getting out. I mean, he didn't have to join the Teen Titans in episode 1, but that whole Cadmus thing and him escape, that whole Cadmus thing could have been like episode 1 and 2, when Deathstroke was coming back. And then by episode 3, Superboy is like unconscious at Titan's Tower. And I feel like it could have been streamlined a little bit. I kind of see why they did it in the season finale, but I feel like Superboy could have been better utilized this season if he was actually in the season more than like 5%, I think. So I don't know. I feel like that could have been done a little bit better. Number 6 is going to be a little bit more of like an in-betweener for me. I said the Jericho of it all. There are some points that are really good about Jericho, and I really liked. I liked the way that the team went in with this malintent, and they wanted to take and they wanted to use him to get to his dad and everything, and so I wanted him to, or they wanted him to, I lost my train of thought. Thanks. So this is why I don't do these things live. So Jericho the actor was good. The character was okay. Jericho being stuck inside his body is okay. It's all like okay, like that's the except for like the Titans friending him. Even Slade was just a bad dad. Like Slade was just, I mean, he blatant, like I could see if Slade was remorseful for killing his son, but like Slade was just like, I blame the Titans because they did this, that, and the other. And he's like, no, dude, he obviously didn't like you. He obviously didn't like what you were doing, and you stabbed him, even though he jumped in front of Dick, which meant he believes in Dick more than he believes in you. So I mean, it did make me feel like Slade's motivations were a little weak. And then I thought maybe, if Jericho's inside of him, maybe Jericho's mad about what happened, and now Jericho's the one driving Slade in the background to do all this. And no, he's not. Jericho's just, Jericho was actually fighting him. So I don't know, just the Jericho of it all just landed right in the middle. There were good parts, there were bad parts, there were kind of meh parts. And we'll see going into season 2 with Jericho being in Rose's body. So that sounded really weird. In his sister's mind palace, for the Sherlock fans. All right. So we're getting into like the better of it all, like the things that I loved about this season. Bruce Wayne. Well, more importantly, the Bruce Wayne hallucinations. This dude is freaking hilarious. Like I heard that Bruce Wayne was going to be in this season, and I'm like, well, I didn't think we'd see Batman. People were like, oh, we're going to see, Batman's in Titans. No, Batman is not in Titans. I figured it would be Bruce Wayne was in Titans. And everyone's like, oh, it's the same person. Yeah, duh. No shit, Sherlock. But it's very different when you bring Bruce Wayne in versus Batman. And I knew it would only be Bruce Wayne, but the way they did the hallucinations and the way Raven was getting into people's heads and making them see Bruce Wayne and, trying to bring them together and stuff like that, I thought was really good. The actor was really good. My only problem with this Bruce Wayne is he looks so. I saw the actor, and then I was like, oh, this is a swerve. Like, he's going to be Alfred. That's how old he looks. He's going to be Alfred. And lo and behold, he was Bruce Wayne. So I really like the actor playing Bruce Wayne. I thought he did a great job. I can't imagine that guy in a bat suit running around kicking the crap out of people. I know Ben Affleck's older too, but Ben Affleck looks a lot different than this guy. The hallucinations were great. I loved it. It was a great way to kind of utilize the character without Bruce Wayne being in the entire season. It's kind of like they did with what I liked about what they did with Arkham Knight and the Joker. Joker was in the whole game, but guess what? And Mark Hamill was in the whole game, but guess what? He wasn't really there. And I think it was very tactfully and tastefully done. All right, so moving on to number 4, which is Beast Boy, Jason Todd, and Raven's characters. I did like the way that these characters all were kind of molded. They did a really good job at kind of expanding on their characters, even though they had so much going on. This is kind of like an Avengers level, like character level, like thing, because it's like you've got I think there's 10, 12 Titans this season, like overall. So it's like, it's amazing that anybody got decent time. Beast Boy and Raven and Jason Todd had some great moments in the early parts of the season. Jason Todd, they're really building him up to become his own character and eventually the Red Hood, which I was hoping they wouldn't kill him off this season, but Raven going to Themyscira with Donna Troy's body was all right. I was kind of hoping she'd stick around, but I'm kind of okay with that character being gone for a little bit. I think she's run her course after the first season, and she didn't do much. Like, truth be told, she didn't do a hell of a lot this season. So I really think that was a good move, for them to kind of transition her out. And Beast Boy, his character is just so, I don't want to say all over the place, but it's just so, he has highs and then he has lows. And it's this character just needs to kind of, I loved seeing the happy Gar in the episode where Superboy was sleeping, and then he woke up and then he was so excited because, he was working with Superboy and training him to be a Titan, and they were going out and doing stuff. And then after he gets done with the brainwashing and stuff, he's just really depressed. And I get why. That's real life. But so they've really done some good work with Beast Boy. I'd kind of like to see him meet up with the Doom Patrol again, like in an episode of Doom Patrol season 2, and just see an interaction there, because Beast Boy's come a long way from that kid who just was stealing video games from Titan season 1. So it'd be interesting to see how that all played out. And I didn't mention Rose. I got into Rose's character, not in the beginning of the season. I didn't really get into Rose's character because I knew she was like a Terra, just, there to be whatever. But as the season went on and towards the end, I actually started sympathizing with this character. I actually really liked her. Rose was one of those characters and they knew she was Slade's daughter all the time. So it's and so everything went, I thought, those, especially those 4 characters. So I should have said Rose on there, but whatever, I don't care. But Rose was also really good. So those are those. All right, number 3, Deathstroke is a badass. Look, I love the Arrowverse Deathstroke, and I think he is amazing, and he's awesome in every episode he's in. But this Deathstroke really gave me a feeling of threat. The way he did things, even his his uniform, his costume was so much more badass than the one from the Arrows. And I know there's different budgets and crap like that, but I feel like the streaming services would have a lower budget and they just made it work much better. Whenever the swords came out, just the way he pulled the sword out, it's like, oh shit, things are getting real. And I don't know, this, and as I said, there was a little bit of a drop off when, with the whole Jericho thing, and Jericho was inside his head and yada yada. And it was okay. That part of it was. But like, the reason why the Titans broke up was really good. The reason why Slade is really pissed is really good. As I said, but I don't feel like, he blames the Titans a little bit more than he should. He shouldn't be blaming himself more. Maybe hate the Titans, but he blames them more. I feel like Deathstroke should have gotten more involved, because when he heard his daughter was with the Titans, and then he should have gotten involved, not this whole plan of like destroying them and then killing them and yada yada. Like, I don't know. Maybe he didn't want the same thing to happen to Jericho that happened, would happen to Rose. But yeah. And I mean, like, just a bad dad. God. I mean, at least in the Arrowverse, I can't remember the actor's name now. It'll come to me later. But Deathstroke from the Arrowverse, I mean, at least he was a decent dad. Dude, the Deathstroke in the Titans verse just is bad. Bad. All right, number 2, we're wrapping it up. All right, so they're bringing a real team together. And I really feel this season that we had, like last season, I can see everybody's gripes. I can see everybody's gripes. I can see why people would think the first season was a dud. I see that. I enjoyed the first season for what it was, and I'm not saying that it was good. It was a beginning for this team. It was very dark. It was very different, especially being the first DC Universe show. They really well established Raven's character and Raven's mythos and yada yada. Titans episode, the first episode of this season was all about Trigon. I know it's supposed to be a season finale of last season. However, I think it was just like CG wouldn't have been done, because there was a lot of Trigon CG in that episode. So I feel like they actually had to delay that episode because there was a lot of Trigon CGI. So really, I mean, bringing Superboy in, as I said, he could have been brought on sooner. I like the fact that they brought Jason Todd in to the Titans. It just felt good. Like, it felt accurate for his arc, especially with Batman. Batman was trying, or Bruce Wayne was trying to flush out all the kinks and wrinkles that Batman knew he couldn't do with him. And whether he was successful or not, I guess we'll see. But we all know we all know where Jason Todd is heading. He's heading to a funeral, pretty much. Starfire. I haven't even talked about Starfire. I liked her character from last season to this season. Starfire is one of those characters that was a hard sell for me, especially after the first season. I did not like her in the first season. I didn't mind her this season, but I feel like she was better in a bigger ensemble rather than it being her and the 3 others. Because normally in season 1, it was Dick Grayson, Raven, Beast Boy, and Starfire. And I really just feel like that, her Starfire's character kind of grew into its own. I didn't really care for any of the Starfire stuff this season. As I said, the character was okay when she was with the Titans, but the stuff about her and her sister and yada yada, and I know we're going into that next season, so we'll see how that goes, but I really don't care. I do like the way her powers were perceived, because I'm glad they didn't go with the green plasma from like Teen Titans. The green plasma was kind of always a bit much. I don't know. So who am I missing? I don't know. But bringing a real team together. Like, I like that they were in Titan's Tower. They were in close quarters. I liked at the end of the season when they were having the dinner together, and and they were, they're in close proximity. It gives me more of an X-Men feel rather than like a Justice League feel, because a Justice League feels like they're all over the place doing their own thing, and then they just boom tube to one another, to do the big superhero thing. Whereas in Titans, it's a little more condensed. And even in Young Justice, they do that. They boom tube to one another all the time, and it gets to be like, they can just boom tube wherever. In Titans, it's more condensed. It feels like the X-Men, and that's what I like, where it's like they're all in one place. They get the alarm that goes off or whatever, and they all suit up and they go. I would have loved to have seen a scene where they had all of their suits lined up in the armory room, or what? Not the armory room, the changing, whatever you want to call that room, with their uniforms. I feel like that would have been really cool. And Beast Boy, for God's sake, get Beast Boy a uniform that changes shape or whatever. God, I'm sick of that dude getting naked every time he transforms. But yeah, I mean, I like Titan's Tower. I like the idea. I like how, they all have their space. I mean, it's not like an actual T in the middle of like the harbor or whatever. So yeah. And let's move on to numero uno. Goddamn Nightwing. Goddamn Nightwing. Nightwing. Nightwing is definitely the highlight. The highlight of the season. I love the outfit, the uniform. I love the extremis sticks. I love the build up. I mean, they've been building up to this for 2 seasons. They did a great job. This actor is like the perfect Nightwing. And just for those of you who don't know, Nightwing is like my favorite Batman family person or character. He is also my favorite. He's also my favorite Robin. Now, Tim Drake is in a very, very close second place. I think that Tim Drake is a better Robin, but I feel like Dick Grayson is my favorite Robin, like to come from the Robin moniker. I mean, I don't care if Tim Drake, and I know they changed him recently to Drake in the comic books and whatever, but it's just like, I know Tim Drake is definitely my favorite Robin. Dick Grayson is my favorite character to come from the Batman family. And just they did such a beautiful job of doing that. They did all the influence and all the, Deathstroke and everything just kind of came together beautifully. And it just made sense for, Bruce Wayne to provide that outfit for him and gave him all the toys and stuff. And, we always think like back in at least I always thought back in the animated series, that Nightwing was, he left on bad terms with Batman. Why would Batman fund him if he left on bad terms with Batman? And in this show, it kind of showed the fact that they didn't leave on bad terms. They left on a difference of opinion. So I just love the way they did this. Awesome Nightwing. I can't wait for season 3 and the new team. I mean, I do like the team. I'm kind of upset that Donna Troy won't be there, and who knows? She probably will be. She'll probably come back, or Raven will find her soul in like the Pits of Soul world or whatever. Oh, that's Marvel. My bad. The Pits of Soul world. But anyway, so I can't say enough about it. I mean, then the fight scene between Nightwing and Rose and Deathstroke was just amazing. And I mean, for an app show budget, I mean, they've done a lot with these things. They've really gone balls to the wall, and I appreciate it. I don't know. If you guys aren't watching Titans, you should. Suffer through season 1. Make sure that you absorb the information and just kind of move on. Titan season 2 is worth it. And I can't say that enough, because there's just a lot going on in this season, and I don't know. It's just so far it's been a great show. Okay, so just to kind of finish up, I thought I would definitely give this season, like last season, I would have gave a 3 out of 5. This I'd give a 4 out of 5 for sure. Maybe a 4.5, maybe. I mean, there was still a couple things that bugged me, so I don't know if I could give it a 4.5, but anyway, so as a fan of the Titans, I mean, as you can see, I've collected Teen Titans and Titans as of late, over the past 10 years. I'm not going to say I'm like, oh, I collected Teen Titans back in the 80s. No, I was like born in the 80s, so I know I didn't collect comic books yet. I started collecting comic books until like the early 90s. But I've been watching Teen Titans for years. I've been collecting the books for years. I'm a fan of a lot of the stuff that revolves around the Titans, and the Teen Titans. So I mean, I feel like this season is really rebounded from the last, and I feel like it needs to get the credit that it deserves. I mean, a lot of people are saying that that they're not going back to it because of the first season. Well, get over yourselves, because I mean, I love Star Trek, and most first seasons of Star Trek are garbage. I mean, my favorite Star Trek show is DS9, and the first season of that is so hard to get through. Just give it a shot. and just make sure that you're open-minded. As I said, yeah, you'll suffer through the first. I'm a little more forgiving than a lot of people, but you'll suffer through the first season. You get to the second season, and I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. I mean, if you are, then don't watch a show at all, because I can't help you, because you obviously it's not gonna meet your cup of tea. This season was more or less exactly what I wanted from the Titans from the first season, truth be told, but we didn't get it. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this thing up. It's been 25 minutes. If you watched, I don't know if anyone watches, but if you're watching this in the post show, just give a like and subscribe. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know the things that you loved about this season of Titans. And if you didn't like it, tell me why. I don't mind having like an engaging conversation with people and respectable conversations. We have a Facebook called Nerd Nation. If you're interested, let me know. Or you can just look us up on Nerd Nation. You can see it's the same logo as our YouTube channel. And check us out every Saturday. We have our Jettison Life podcast, where it is me and a couple people. Two Brits and a Packy is what I'm told they're called. Or what I'm told it is. But we have a great time talking about nerd crap. The reason why I did this one was just because none of them watch this show. So it's like, I figured I'd venture out on my own and try it. I know my webcam sucks. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Hopefully my audio is okay. And hopefully I haven't bored you to death. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks everybody. Be good to each other.